So we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun.
Hi, it is Sunday today and we're just doing, well, I'm just doing a few little jobs here and there, and Justin is collecting a whole lot of sticks and branches and taking them down to the veggie patch so that then he can do some wood chipping and do wood chipping on the paths. We've had a lot of rain lately and our tanks are full and overflowing. So we've got we got given this green tank here, and I'm just going to transfer some water over to that green one so that then we can save a bit more water, and we'll use that for the veggie patch over summer as well. So we've got a little ball valve here, and I've got some Plumbers tape. I always used to forget how to do Plumbers tape, which direction to do it in. So I thought I would do a quick little video on the way that I remember it is wherever the thread is facing you, you want to go clockwise around that thread so that then when you do twist in the next little attachment, it doesn't bunch up on you and you'll get a good seal on it. At least I think that's right. Yeah, clockwise to the direction of the clockwise to the direction that the thread is when it's facing you. So I'll show you how I do it, and my gosh, I hope it works. It should be fine, but yeah, I'll show you. I haven't actually cleaned it. I am going to give the whole thing a big flush out when I do start transferring the water, because it is quite dirty in there, and there's, you know, just a little bit of because there's like a tiny little bit of water at the bottom. But I'm not going to worry about it too much because it's going to be a tank for the veggie patch, so it's going to be fine. If, you know, because we're not 100% not going to be drinking from this tank at all ever. So yeah, here we go. Okay, so another little trick is to hold the tape like this, so that then you can really pull quite hard and get a really good tight fit with the tape. So go around once. Like you can see, I can pull that quite tight and it's just nice and easy to go around. Yep. There we go, that should be enough. And then there we go. Now we'll put the ball valve on. Oh, that whole thing's twisting. That should... Do you think that'll be all right? That whole thing started twisting. There we go. I'll do it like that. So when I do twist that, there's a ball that's in here. I'll show you the inside of it that has a bit cut out of it. And when you twist it back, the bit that's cut out is on this side. Twist it that way, it's open there. I don't know if you'll be able to see. Not yet. So that's open. Turn it that way and it's closed. Cool little design. Okay, so I've got the submersible pump in the grey tank and going over to the green tank in there and filling it up. Then I will turn the tap on a little bit and flush it out. Yeah, and fill up the tank. So then just to show again about how that works, turn that off. There we go. So Justin is going to show you how the wood chipper works, and we've got a whole lot of branches to chip up and put in the parts for the veggie patch. I'm going to get the huge pile of cape wheat that we've got, and our bath that we keep our worms in is full, and I have, I think, like a huge bucket full of compost to put in there. So I've just scrapped a huge bucket of scraps to put in there. So yeah, I'm gonna put a whole lot of the worms into the compost bay over there, and yeah, then hopefully I'll have enough space to put all the scraps. Justin stopped for a bit because he's headed off to help a neighbour who has a flat tyre on their car. Yeah, Justin to the rescue. Check this tree out, how tall it is. And it's actually all growing from a tree that has fallen over. And look at that. It's just started shooting. It's like, yep, no worries. I don't need to be in the ground properly. I'll still grow.
G'day everyone, Justin here from 5 Acre Farm. Hope you're all going well. It's a lovely weekend here in Victoria. Not too cold, not too warm either, but it's not windy or raining, so that's great. Today going to get into a bit of chipping. Got the PTO wood chipper here, up to 75mm it chips. So I've been around and grabbed all our piles of junk, and I've set it up in a way that it's going to make it easier to feed in to the chipper. We've had quite a few people ask us since one of the previous videos that Kat might put up there, how we like the PTO wood chipper and whether we might have preferred getting the petrol version. I love the PTO wood chipper because I can take it anywhere on the block and chip right there. Today we're still amending the spring garden, so getting some more cardboard down, more wood chips in the pathways and all that. So I brought everything here to me today, and I'll chip it right in spot, and then we can just easily move it around. Yeah, it's really good for cleaning up out, on the property itself, and just chip into it and rake it all out. It's great for the soil. So yeah, does its job. Yeah, you do run into a few issues with it, and it's pretty particular about how you feed the wood into it and all that kind of stuff. So what I try to do is cut all my branches and all that kind of stuff quite straight, or if you've got unions or like forks, I suppose, in the branches, you cut one of them off, because as chipping down the branch, that larger part just doesn't seem to like to go through it if it's a little bit too big. So you'll see me, I'll definitely run into some issues with some of the stuff we've got here, but generally when you're trimming branches and all that, try to keep them single and straight and you'll be sweet. Yeah, so that's one of the major problems that I've found with it, but it's easy to get around. So yeah, you'll see it as we go through the video today. But another issue you run into is with some of the more bushier stuff. I end up sometimes need to turn that around so it takes that through, and then it's got solid wood to chip after that and keep pushing the softer stuff through. Can get a bit clogged up sometimes. What else is there? Yeah, that's pretty much about it. I try to leave my stuff in piles for a little while, let it dry out a little bit, so some of the leaves that do get clogged are a little bit finer, or they fall off in place, and they go through the chute a lot better. Yeah, so I think I know there might be quite a few people tossing up whether to get one watching this. For our context, with a bit of a bush block, 5 acres, and having the veggie garden that we want to wood chip all the pathways and all that kind of stuff, it really works for us. If you were harvesting a lot more wood and clearing a lot more land, I would probably leave it to the professionals. Get a tree service to come in, and even if you wanted to chop them down yourself, get them to come in and mulch it all up, and they can take care of some of the big stuff for you as well while they're doing that. What else? With the garden, smaller acreage, the PTO chipper or the similar size petrol ones, I would imagine be pretty good. I like the PTO because you can take it sort of wherever you need to, and one day I might actually end up getting a separate little cheap tractor that I might use as like the power plant for the wood chipper on its own, and that way you could chip straight into the bucket of the BX and then move it that way. It's quite a heavy implement. You've got to have a spacer on it for the little BX, the wood chipper. So yeah, if I can come across a cheaper old Massey Ferguson or something like that, I'd consider buying that just as a sole power plant for the wood chipper, so that we can use the BX for doing other stuffs. Let's get into it, and I'll see if I can sort of pause it or show you some of the issues as the way we go, but also how quickly you get through it. So get the eyes and ears on, put a nice podcast on or a good playlist, and get after it. Alrighty, just going to pause it there for a minute. You can see from the footage I've already shot how easily it does some nice long straight kind of wood, and how much of a hassle that some of the brush is on the top of the branches. So that's just there. So that you'll see that happen quite often as you're feeding stuff through. That kind of smaller stuff will get stuck. So if you can just remember to have, excuse me, some longer bits of wood to push down in after that, and that'll send that through, no dramas at all. This branch here, you would have seen me throw out. There's a big V in there. I obviously didn't cut that very well, so that's not going to go through. I tend to find that with these big piles of branches and trees to chip, that after I'm done, I've got a smaller pile of things that won't go through and things that will just go on the burn pile anyway. So, which is not bad, because it'd be nice to have a little fire after this is all done. And we've still got plenty of input for the garden, which is awesome. So, so I'll just show you again. I didn't mention, but it's just a gravity fed one. So you'll see me reaching in there quite a way, which doesn't look great, I'll admit, but there's no way knowing it can continue to pull me down, and I actually cannot reach the disc down there with the chippers on it. So something really wrong would have to go wrong for me to get all the way in there. And you can also, with some of the bushier stuff, you might have seen me as well, you can hold on to it, and when you know it's not going to go through, you push it down as far as it can, and it'll chip off, and then you just pull it out and chuck it onto your burn pile over there. So yeah, it's a bit do as I say, not as I do kind of stuff with the chippers. But yeah, I think we couldn't do without it. Having a higher one constantly to do this kind of stuff wouldn't be ideal for our context. You can see the piles, not too bad at the moment. That'll be probably, oh God, 4 times, 5 times the size by the time we finished all this. So also what you've seen so far was about 20 minutes, I think. So we've made a bit of a dent on this side over here. It still looks a bit daunting, but just be surprised how quickly it goes. So I think all this will end up going flat out without filming for you guys. Might take me about an hour and a quarter. So that's not too bad. And then we can spread it all. We won't get that done today. It's getting a bit late in the afternoon, but yeah, it'll be ready to go for when we need it. So yeah, I'll leave you there now, and we'll do some more sped up footage, and then any final thoughts at the end that I remember, I'll go over them then.
after dropping off the little fella, not little fella, young fella at his work. And I'll be heading off to pick him up a bit later. Justin is doing some chipping. Yes, that's so good. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I might get some stuff ready for dinner. Yeah, not sure. Have a think. Maybe I'll have a look at some more seeds. I'm meant to be moving the chicken fence, but I don't think I'm going to get to that today. I don't think there's enough hours, but that's alright, next time.
All right, there we have it. All done. Oops, sorry about that sun there. Yeah, that was pretty good. I was pretty happy with that. All done. Bit of debris around, but I'll just rake that up and add that to the pile. Yeah, so it's hard to see really how much there is there, but that's going to do quite a few pathways there. I was just trying to think in the last little bit as I was finishing up there what I hadn't really addressed, and you might have seen me tipping the chute over and letting some of the stuff out. So I'll just show you. That is supposed to be bolted up there, but I find there's a bit of stuff in there now. I find that when it gets clogged up, it's an easy way to shutting everything down to unclog it. And then you can also just see down there where it gets stuck, so you can reach down there and grab that. But bear in mind the wheel's way down there, so the worst, you're only going to cop a chip in the finger. It's hard work. Got a bit of a puff up. So that's another thing that might have looked a bit unsafe, I suppose, but yeah, it's great. I love it. Like I said, I spent a little bit of time, probably about 45 minutes this morning, going to all the piles, getting everything and lining it up around here so that all the stick ends were facing down, and then or straight into the machine. So it makes it heaps easier, and it went a lot quicker than what it normally does when I'm out the back, when I've just got piles lying around everywhere. So a little bit of time earlier on preparing it makes it go a heap quicker. And you can see the chips. Like, there are some twigs in there, but it's beautiful. So there's a good mix actually. A lot of it's it's sort of about 50-50 dry and just green. And obviously some of the bigger ones go a bit quicker, a bit further, sorry. But yeah, if I haven't addressed anything, you got any questions about the PTO wood chipper, just hit us up down in the comments. If you like this kind of stuff, let us know. Hit the like button. Remember to subscribe. And yeah, hope you all had a great weekend.
This is our worm farm. You can see this bit here is all beautiful. There's still a little bit of scraps in there, but beautiful. Isn't that amazing? So that was all food that was from just food scraps and tissues and paper towel and that kind of thing, and we just give that all to the worms. We start at this end, put all of the fresh stuff in there. No, sorry, other way. We started here, putting all the fresh stuff, and then slowly moved it along. So as it was filling, we would put the fresh stuff along that way there. And then this bit here is not a lot. There's like still some food scraps in there, maybe from an orange, avocado, I think. And yeah, so we can put this, we're going to put some of this into the compost bay. Probably doesn't really need it, but I need some more space in the worm farm to put a whole lot more scraps. So yeah, we figure it was not going to hurt the compost base, so it should be fine. Look at all of those. Amazing. There we go. Sorted out the worm farm. So I've moved all of the old stuff up to this end and then put in all the frozen stuff there that I had from the lovely ladies that I work with. So having a look in our greenhouse, you can see we've got a few little seedlings coming up. Some basil. I think that's a weed. Some more basil coming up there. These ones are Lebanese cucumbers. And then in the next tray down, what have we got? Crystal apple cucumbers. They're doing really well. Got some basil coming up at the back. That was actually from, oh, there's no more. Oh yeah, there we go. That was actually from the seeds that I kept from our last year's basil. And then down the bottom, Justin's got a whole heap of his chili plants that he's done. They're going amazingly well. These are all the seeds that we collected from our own chilies. Look at that. They're loving life.
Hey, darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city light. Hey, darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city, let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday, baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count, honey, come on now and take my hand. Hey, darling, I love it when it's me and you on the road with a couple of tunes in a car for two. Hey, darling, you know we're gonna have a really good time, driving in the middle of the night when the stars are bright. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city, let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday, baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count, honey, come on now and take my hand. Get out, we can leave this city, let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday,